Welcome everybody to Two's Company, Three's a Podcast, Newcastle's #1 film, TV and gaming podcast. If you hate school kids, guess what? It only goes downhill from here. My name is Dylan and always with my co-host
Mitchell. Oh, I thought you scared me, but it was just Hayden's Surprise Symphony. But anyway, grab your Russian assault rifle and gear up for 2C3 Pod, the length of an NBA court! I only gamble with my life, never with my money.
Say it again?
I only gamble with my life, never with my money.
I only gamble with my life and never with my money, but it's based off narrated films from the 1990s. Or was it actually...
I was trying to deceive you.
Okay, yeah, so it's actually from Brendan Fraser films from the 90s. Nope, I got Monkey Bone. I don't know. I'm throwing it out there.
No. I'll give you one more stab.
Okay.
A franchise.
A franchise, The Mummy.
Yeah, there you go.
Which one?
The first one.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah, excellent. Welcome, everybody, to Friday's episode of Two's Company, Three's a Podcast, which is where we talk about movies sometimes and games very occasionally, but most of all, trailers being Friday.
That's right. It is Friday, ladies and gentlemen. We have a stacked, count 'em, stacked trailer park for you, and I'm geared up for it. But we do talk about film, TV, and gaming, Dylan, always in our Wednesday episodes. Head back to listen to Wednesday's episode. That's our news and reviews episode. And oh my God, this coffee hasn't kicked in yet.
Oh, off to a great start. Anyway, just to do a bit of homework before we get started. This episode is...
I like it.
I don't know why I called it homework. It's supposed to be housekeeping. But anyway...
well, I like to say chores, but homework suits it better.
Okay, excellent. This episode is brought to you by Gun Gear and Graphics. You'll hear more about that at the 30-minute mark. But most importantly, you can find us on social media, all at Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Just search at 2C3Pod or just 2C3Pod or Two's Company, Three's a Podcast. Make sure you put the punctuation in there, but you can find us on those platforms.
That's right, absolutely. And wherever you're listening to us, thank you for your continued support. We appreciate it greatly. We are available on all platforms, but we've got to get our cliche slogan in there. We are available on Pop and Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and of course, YouTube. Big summer blowout.
Now, you can support the show as well if you feel inclined over at tpublic.com, redbubble.com, and most importantly as well, Patreon. We've got 3 affordable tiers where you can choose which one suits you best, but each tier gives you exclusive TCT pack benefits, and we do have a few Patreon supporters we do shout out at the end of the episode. Mitchell will certainly run through them when we get there.
Not only that, but if you would like a shout out of anything at all, head on over to Apple Podcasts right now. Give us 5 stars and we will read out whatever the fuck your review says. Doesn't matter how crazy it is. Make it a personal message. Make it an attack on us. Doesn't matter. As long as it's 5 stars, we don't care.
That's right. 5 stars is all that really matters. Yes. But also, we've got 2 podcasts every Wednesday. This is Friday's episode. So before we get into it, you can certainly find me over at twitch.tv/Dylan2C3Pod and occasionally you at twitch.tv/Mitchell_TCTP.
Yeah, very rarely, but you know, if you like Fortnite.
But yeah, should we rip into this trailer park?
Well, I would, but I mean, normally we have a queue to get into it, but I just feel like this week I don't think it's going to come by.
I'm not sure.
I know, it's unfortunate. But anyway, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in. What? No. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in. No, Dylan, I told you, there's nothing going on. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in. Better soon Marcos Wall started hitting into the trailer park. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It is time for Trailer Park, one of my favorite times of the week where we review the freshest trailers to hit the interwebs in the past week.
Yes.
And we are going to break them down with a review that I write and we're going
to
break. Oh, that's a good sounding whiskey. But anyway, thank you, Lachlan, for that for him. But anyway.
Laughing at a bad time.
Yeah. And these descriptions that I've written out here, Dylan hasn't read them until we are live on air. So that's always fun to try and see him get through them. But
it really is a testament to how bad my reading out loud is. Yes. You know, sometimes I hit it, and other times it's tremendously terrible.
Oh, and sometimes I fuck them up and I write the bitches. But anyway, all right.
There is one trailer, I will say, before we rip in though, there is one trailer that you didn't put in here, which I thought you would have.
Okay. Which one was it?
There was a new trailer for the Chris Nolan film Tenet.
Oh, yeah, because I don't necessarily like doing trailer 2s. Yeah. Like trailer number 2s.
Well, I had a thought about that because I remember we talked about this in a trailer park in the past. But Since then, the new trailer, just very briefly, was like, well, we don't know anything more about this.
Okay, yeah, exactly. And especially with a Christopher Nolan film, I mean,
who the fuck knows?
You're not going to understand it until you get to the movies. And even then, 50-50 shot, you're going to get it.
That's right.
As simple as that.
So if you came to this trailer park looking for a review of the Tenet trailer from Christopher Nolan, that was it.
No, exactly. But also, if you see a trailer and it says number 2 or second international or something like that, I tend to avoid those ones. I'd rather pick out a low budget indie something and chuck that in as a new thing as opposed to, here's 80% of the footage we've already seen and a couple extra shots.
Yeah.
We've already reviewed Tenet trailer. Look back through the archives for that one.
Yep.
Anyway, all right, ripping straight in this week, we have The Five Bloods. All right. Excuse me. I don't want to have a Dylan moment. So
prepare.
From visionary writer-director Spike Lee, Malcolm X, The Black Klansman, comes this war epic. This story follows 4 African-American veterans who fought in the Vietnam War and their journey back to the battlegrounds they fought on to find their pot of gold. What that means is that during the war, the 4 men and their deceased squad leader, Chadwick Boseman, stumble upon a shit ton of gold bullions and buried it for safekeeping and planned on coming back once the war ended. Well, now is the time as they trek through the jungle to find their nest egg. The story appears to be told through the present day in flashbacks and looks like it has the potential to be a gripping political war story, slicing onto Netflix like a machete through jungle scrub, June 12th.
This film looks fucking unreal.
Right?
Right off the gate, I will say I didn't expect this. When I saw the title, I was expecting some kind of film about the actual American gang Bloods.
Yeah, exactly.
And I thought it was maybe about the founding members of that or whatever. Yeah. I'm not familiar with that kind of history. But then I watched the trailer and I was pleasantly surprised that this is a fun, wacky, also dramatic comedy about a true story of these...
Comedy? There are comedy vibes from it?
I got comedy vibes from it simply because it's like you've got this camaraderie of gentlemen that are brothers.
Oh, they're going to have that like inside jokes kind of thing in that repertoire.
Almost every war film that I've ever seen has that level of brotherhood where they've got that camaraderie and they've got that level of compassion for each other. They're all brothers. They they consider themselves family essentially, and that's where I'm seeing the comedic elements come alive in this. But most importantly, as you mentioned, the film is told in 2 different settings. You've got the elderly gentleman, not elderly, but the older gentleman going back to Vietnam, a place where they fought and killed, in a time in the past to retrieve their pot of gold, as you said.
Yes, so, absolutely.
And as they go back, there's flashbacks of what happened. One of the main stars, Chadwick Boseman, who you'd know as Black Panther in the MCU, has stepped outside of the MCU to make some more... I wouldn't say indie films, but less massive blockbuster films, which is awesome to see.
He did that 21 Bridges most recently, but that was a Russo brothers production as well. Yeah. So, I mean, it's kind of interconnected. But this one is like he's taking the lead in a Spike Lee film. Like, that's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, and as we mentioned before the beginning of this episode, Spike Lee, most famous for making African-American based films, essentially, or based on, black characters or people of history, essentially. Yeah. I'm not overly familiar with Spike Lee's films, I don't think.
I didn't get around to seeing The Black Klansman, but I've definitely seen Malcolm X in the past. And
I've seen trailers for is it the Black K Klansman or is it just Black Klansman?
It's pronounced Black Klansman, but it's like intentionally KKK in the middle there.
I see that, but I hear when I see people talk about it on YouTube or the internet.
They say Black K Klansman?
Yeah. So I'm just not sure whether that's right or wrong. But anyway, I'm happy to call it the Black Klansman because that makes more sense to me.
Yeah, I don't.
But that is a film starring...
wouldn't there be a space or a dash or something if they were doing that?
That's what I mean. Yeah. I don't know. But yeah, that film in itself looks really interesting and really good, but I'm yet to check it out. It's just another one that's on my list. So from what I've seen from Spike Lee and what I know about the kind of films he makes, I am looking forward to this one.
Yeah.
It looks like here that there was rumours that Samuel L. Jackson and Don Cheadle were supposed to be in the lead roles for this, but obviously not. They've fallen out of that.
Yeah, and I feel like that would have overshadowed Chadwick Boseman because he's
possibly
he's like front and center as the lead, but and it's no surprise because it's in the trailer, but he is the deceased squad leader. So all of his work is in the flashback sequences. So
that's right.
I feel like that's going to be way more heavy than the present time stuff. Yep. Like they set it up with the present time stuff and then take a 20-minute backstory to that. Yeah. And then cut forward to another 5-10 minutes and then 20 minutes back.
Yeah.
Because they're pushing Chadwick as the main guy.
Yeah. And I always really like well-written and well-crafted war stories based on real events, like for example, like World War I and World War II movies, but also Vietnam War. There's something about that particular war and the films that come influenced from that fascinates me, especially the setting.
That's right.
You know, like even the movie Predator, for example, it's got those vibes of the Vietnam War. Obviously, it's
just the concept
fictional.
of the Vietnam War, where the Vietnamese soldiers were way outnumbered, but because they knew the jungle, they fucking won, dude.
Yeah,
like they fucking own America and all their allies. Like it's crazy.
Insane
it's a
that
crazy
they won
war.
though. They like the Vietnam. Let's just go down this route for a second.
Smidgeroo.
Yeah, the Vietnam people and the country got fucked up
no.
in the most horrendous way possible.
Yeah, I'm not saying they came out of it and went, yay, we're better off. Like, fuck no.
This film doesn't look like it's going that kind of route to celebrate the success of the Americans.
No.
There is another war film on this list that we will talk about a bit later, which kind of does that.
Oh, big time.
And we'll talk about that.
Big time.
But this film, if you're into well-written stories based on true stories about real people and their experiences on the ground in World War II, in the Vietnam War, and then telling that story of them going back later on, this is for you because I found this fascinating.
Yeah, absolutely. And as we've discussed previously on the podcast, 1917 really did change my opinion of war films because I'd mentioned before that I could watch a war film, but, you know, there's good ones in that. But 1917 really made me open my eyes to, damn, there are some fucking solid war films.
And there's some really good ones.
Exactly. Yeah. And this one looks like it's heading down really good, man. So I'm going to give this one a big summer blower.
Yes.
And the fact that it's going to be on Netflix as well, so we can watch it straight away.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, the next one. Yes. Let me clear the throat for this one. So... Force of Nature. And as I'm not sure if we said this already, but anybody listening at home to this on Facebook, Instagram, or whatever, not on Instagram, YouTube and Podbean and podcasts and all that,
everywhere,
feel free to go watch these trailers.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're able to, feel free to pause it when we tell you what movie it is, watch the trailer, and then you'll understand what the fuck I'm talking about.
Yeah. For this next one, though, it's up to you.
Yeah.
Force of Nature. What do you think is worse? Being stuck in a Category 5 hurricane or having armed thugs come to you, murder you, and steal $55 million from you? It's a tough ultimatum, but what if I said that you had an armed thugs coming to steal $55 million from you while there is a goddamn Category 5 hurricane right outside your front door? That's right. Things could always get worse, and we find out in the trailer for Force of Nature. Legendary good guy Mel Gibson plays an old, retired policeman who is bunkered down with his daughter, Kate Bosworth, in the storm when he's having the police, led by Emil Hirsch. Did I say that right?
Yes, Emil Hirsch.
Tell them to evacuate. Old man Gibson ain't having a bat of it.
A bat, my apologies. Okay, I made a spelling error.
Ain't having a bat of it. Stubborn bastard, but for good reason. He has $55 million somewhere in the building, and bad people want it. How will they survive being trapped by the storm in this gangsters? Well, as the trailer so genuinely puts it.
Geniusly.
God
damn it.
Sorry.
Why did I fuck up the spelling of that? It's not got the little red squiggle underneath. So geniusly. Anyway, genuous. Anyway, and take it back to the beginning of the sentence.
Yeah. Well, as the trailer so geniusly puts it, when it rains, it pours, sliding on demand like an old man caught in a downpour. June 30th.
Holy shit! What a fucking trailer!
Yeah,
it is. What is this? What has Hollywood become?
This is a Nicolas Cage film,
right?
Just like I spoke about last week, Mel Gibson has become. It's weird and kind of upsetting, but I also understand. There's all these famous actors from action films from the 80s: Nicolas Cage, Bruce Willis, Mel Gibson, and however many others. That for whatever reason still need a paycheck and can't just get a regular job as a plumber. They still just pump out these I wouldn't even say low budget, but these direct-to-video, on-demand, direct-to-DVD films. Yeah. And none of them are that good. They just exist.
No, but I mean, this one in particular, man, just the concept alone. Oh, Dad, we've got to leave. There's a Category 5 hurricane. Nah! And then the cops are like, hey, dude, like, you really should leave. Like, we're in the middle of this storm. Nah! And then they're like, okay, well, we can't do anything. And then they go to leave. Storm gets too heavy and they can't leave. Next minute, Mel Gibson's fighting off the detective from fucking Dexter, Batista was his name. And he has $55 fucking million in his apartment building.
Yeah.
What? What?
So at the first instinct was like, okay, the film's called Force of Nature, and I know that they're trying to make you think that the hurricane is the force of nature, but no, Mel Gibson is the force of nature. But what, the force of nature is an old man who's too stubborn to leave his lounge?
Nah.
Like, that's the force of nature? Just grab him by the throat, carry him out.
No, but he seems like that, where he seems like just an angry old dude going, nah.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden he's like, yeah, used to be a cop, got a bulletproof vest, look at this arsenal of guns. If we need to fight, we've got guns. Like, and what the hell? We're supposed to believe you're like a superhero vigilante now? Like,
Mel Gibson deserves better than this.
Oh, man.
That's how
I don't know.
feel.
Does he? Because I said classic good guy Mel Gibson.
I know.
Because he's had
of
his issues.
Well, that's the thing. Like, most actors have. In Wednesday's episode, we talked about how Tom Cruise is a fucking legend, but he's also a maniac.
Oh, yeah.
Mel Gibson, similar, but also more racist.
But I was going to say, Tom Cruise hasn't come out and said, it's the fucking Jews, man.
I know. Like, but Mel Gibson, obviously, regardless of his beliefs, he's shut up about that now.
Yes.
Which is what he should have done in the first place. But
he wouldn't be getting work if he kept going.
No, that's right. But in saying that, coming off the back of one of the greatest success stories of like Hollywood history from an Australian actor,
Aussie,
to then go to these types of films, I just think that But the last film that I saw him in, and we talked about this fairly recently, was The Expendables 3, which was the shittest film in the Expendables franchise.
Did you watch Daddy's Home 2?
No.
Okay, yeah. Well, that was my last venture with Mel Gibson, and he was great.
That's what I'm
saying. Because it was a comedy, But
that was also A-list actors.
Yeah, but it was a comedy where he was playing somewhat of a tough guy, but he didn't have to beat people up. He didn't have to beat off 10 gangsters.
Off 10 gangsters all at once.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Man, it was
Jesus
a mess.
Style,
Seriously, he looked like a cream tart. It was a mess.
Absolutely.
But either way, so I get what you're saying, but at the same time, I'd rather just see him hanging up at this stage and take one role every 3 years that goes to the theaters.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I wish Mel Gibson, as crazy as he is, I still think he's a solid actor, and there's definitely a niche for that kind of types of roles that he can play now.
That's right.
But all of these aging actors seem to be taking these off-cut Taken rip-offs, and I'm just kind of annoyed by it.
Well, see, that's the thing. If this movie didn't have the hurricane, there is no point to it.
No.
But if it didn't have the $55 million, there is no point to it. So they meshed these two stupid fucking things together. Literally, the hurricane, I guarantee, is only there because they needed a reason to say, wait, why doesn't he want to leave?
Yeah.
And then next minute, $55 million and gangsters coming to try and steal it. Yeah.
That's it.
It's a crutch, man.
This didn't take like a team of writers to come up with the most unique and interesting and innovative story in Hollywood in history. It's just... It's just what it is, and on all fronts,
it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate, but it's hella fun. And I'm sorry, but whatever production studio this is, fuck you, fuck you for saying when it rains it pours. Fuck you.
I laughed when I saw that because that is the
you shouldn't. You're not supposed to, but it's fucking hilarious.
That is the cheapest line. Any production, that's what a high school student, like the digital media fucking task would do. That's what I would have done when I was 12.
The only thing that would have saved this trailer is if it was in the 90s and they had the guy say, when it rains, it pours. But then I would have been like, yes, Mel Gibson, fuck him up.
But what you just said, it should have been in the 90s. Because that's where Mel Gibson as an action star belongs.
Exactly. This would have made $200 million.
This is a film designed for the 90s. And unfortunately, it's been distributed by Lionsgate, but the production company, let me know if you've heard of them, Grindstone Entertainment.
Oh, man, no.
Yeah, exactly. So, listen, no shit on them. Like, they've got fucking Mel Gibson, but still.
Did you have a budget there for this? Because I am uber curious about this. I know we can do a lot with technology nowadays, but there seem to be a lot of weather elements in this.
There's a lot of real water.
Exactly. It looked real. So I'd like to think that this movie... Looking at it, at least $10 to $12 million, something.
Nothing on IMDb and nothing on Wikipedia, but I'm sure you can find it if you spend a bit of time.
They'll probably keep it under wraps until it's released and out there. But either way, I mean, big summer blunder.
Big summer blunder.
I'm not going to watch this at all, and unfortunately, even Emil Hirsch isn't going to save it for me because I absolutely adore that guy.
Fair enough.
Yeah, no. But
on to the next one.
Yes, moving on to the third one this week, we have The Outpost. Yes. Whoa. Huh. Good God. What is it good for original movie content? Sing it again, yo. Anyway, that's right. 3 trailers deep and 2 are war films because, that's what sells. In this war feature trailer, we see a tale as old as time about an outnumbered, undermanned squad of peacekeeping soldiers led by Orlando Bloom and Scott Eastwood as they try and take down the Taliban, who have realized they're weak and don't have the numbers to fight back. Or do they? Can they overcome the odds and regain control of their outpost, or will the Taliban scum sorry. Or will those Taliban scum decrease Uncle Sam's army? Clapping onto on-demand and theaters? Like the sound of many guns being fired July 3rd.
This film was supposed to come to cinemas and also a film festival, South by Southwest Film Festival, but obviously due to COVID, see you later.
But it is still being advertised as coming to theaters.
Yeah,
July 3rd.
I don't think I don't think we'll get this here in Australia. Now, as we mentioned earlier, there's war films, some of them good, some of them bad. I think this film is going to be good in the sense that it's going to tell a pretty compelling story, but also the production looks really high quality.
Yes.
But this is... Despite the cast, we'll talk about the cast in a moment, but remember, as we mentioned earlier, that there's some films that really lean heavily towards, America, the good guys in
America, fuck yeah. Exactly.
This is exactly what the Outpost is doing, and I'm
100%.
kind of cringing at the fact that, hey, America's the hero in all of this. Hold on a minute. But now we know,
Yeah, exactly. Like, as in, I get it. We might feel differently if we were American.
If we were patriots, goddammit.
A little patriotic about it, but at the same time, I just look at this and it's like, Jesus Christ, haven't you guys won enough?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I like to watch the small-scale war stories about a small team who are struggling for their own survival, not for the celebrity or the celebration of the American win. I'm not a huge fan of that. One thing I will say, though, Orlando Bloom, it's good to see him in things again. He was in that Carnival Row, that was the Amazon original with Cara Delevingne.
Yeah, whatever season they were up to, they were mid-production of it when all this shit happened.
It's fine. But, Scott Eastwood.
Yes.
He does the squint just like his old man.
What shock and awe.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Clint Eastwood just turned 90 as well.
What a legend. I fucking love... I share a birthday with Clint Eastwood. Happy birthday for Clint Eastwood.
There you go. That's why I would have just recently seen the birthday cake celebration with him.
Yeah. I love Clint Eastwood, and he's got such a quintessential... badass old school Western kind of tough guy look, but you're not a bodybuilder. Like, this was the tough guy before.
Yeah.
Clint Eastwood was the tough action guy before Arnold Schwarzenegger, essentially.
Not only that, but he aged well and did it. And I know you'll agree with me. If you haven't seen Gran Torino, watch fucking Gran Torino.
Pause this podcast and don't fucking come back until you've seen that amazing pice of cinematic film.
All right. Welcome back. And you're welcome. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Gran Torino, I consider that. I know we're talking about his son right now, but we're doing this.
Yeah.
Talk about the legacy of the old man. Gran Torino, for a time, I considered that my favorite film.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was fantastic.
Over any others. And
that one, it came out when I worked at the video store.
You worked at a video store?
I know. I've never touched on that on the podcast. I really should. But it came out when I worked in the video store.
Yeah, well, that's interesting. What is a video store? Can you tell me what that is?
Okay, well, back in the day, before Netflix, right, the Netflix was physical. So you had to physically go to Netflix and whack DVDs until the one you wanted came. And there was an awful mess. And I'd just be like, really? With my lanyard? Just really?
Yeah.
Really? And they'd be like, what are you going to do? Refresh. No. But anyway, dude, this okay, so we mentioned Da 5 Bloods. Yeah. And that seems like a war story I want to see. Yeah. This one, I feel like I've seen it.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem original.
And that's the thing. Like, this may be based on a true story. I don't know. I don't think it is.
They didn't mention it.
But even if it was, like, it's telling the same true story that happened to pretty much everybody who was involved in the Afghanistan war. So we have seen it 100 times over. So,
speaking of war films, I just wanted to touch on. We have not mentioned this one, I don't think, once on the podcast. Have you seen The Hurt Locker?
Oh, I love that film.
Fuck, that's good.
Yeah.
Fuck, that is great.
That film kind of came and went. I remember it was popular at the time because it was kind of Jeremy Renner's big Hollywood break.
It was, yeah, exactly. And it got nominated for Best Picture. It might have won Best Picture.
I think it copped a bit of scrutiny for a lot of people going, that wouldn't happen, this wouldn't happen, that wouldn't happen.
That seemed to be one of the most realistic tellings of what
I'm saying.
war's like.
I've never been, obviously, but like, as a film, that film was fantastic.
Also came out when I worked at the video store.
Oh, yeah, well, very good. Yeah.
Came out same year as Gran Torino.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like early this year, 2020, we had the release of 1917. As you mentioned, your idea of war films has been turned around. What, a month later, we have Midway.
Yes.
Which is a film that did come out, which had a massive cast and a huge budget, and it bombed, no pun intended, big time, because it sucked.
Exactly.
So I'm kind of hoping that The Outpost pushes aside the Go America sort of message and just tells more of the human story of these guys just trying to survive a particular situation.
Yes.
But I don't think it'll do that.
No.
Personally, Big Summer Blowout, but I will check it out if it comes to a streaming service. But
Big Summer Blunder, you mean?
Yeah, that's exactly what I meant. Big Summer Blunder, sorry.
Absolutely.
But commercially, if this was to go to widespread, I think it'll do okay. But I don't know. I'm not really sure.
I don't think it's not going to come here. And if it does come here, it's because we're strapped for movies when the things reopen.
Yeah.
But honestly, man, I can't see this being a success anywhere, really. I feel like it will be too cliche and drawn out and stuff. And the only reason it would make money is because of the cast.
Fair enough.
Yeah, that's all I can see from it. But anyway.
Cool. Moving on to the next one.
Whack into it.
Alrighty. I'm happy to for the cast. Okay. The Old Guard. Yes. As we have become accustomed to, Netflix reigns. Well, I don't know why. Anyway, let me start this again. As we have become accustomed to, Netflix reigns supreme again this week in Trailer Park, as this time with another bombastic big budget action film with The Old Guard. Charlize Theron leads the way as a leader of a group of mercenaries charged with protecting the world from evil. Only one catch: they've been doing this for centuries, not as an organization. The same people? How? Well, they're immortal. Like the undead. No, not zombies. Well, kinda, but not like vampires. Well, kinda, but totally not. They're just immortal people who kill bad and do it really well. But when they become exposed, they are now fighting for their lives somehow to avoid becoming lab rats and poked and prodded for the rest of their lives, aka eternity. One thing's for sure, Charlize better learn quickly that there's now a deleted pictures folder. I had the exact same thought.
Yes, I bet you did.
There's now a deleted pictures folder into an iPhone and also the cloud, snapping onto Netflix like a group of wieners phone.
Did you really just say wieners? What the fuck, dude?
Snapping onto Netflix like a group of tweeners.
What kind of fucking wieners can take pictures, bro?
Tweeners snapping onto Netflix like a group of tweeners phones taking holiday snaps 10th of July. What the fuck is tweeners?
Tweeners is
teenagers tweens?
What? Tween? Have you not heard that term?
Not tweeners.
Google
no.
tweener.
Okay.
I'm seriously, Google tweener. Anyway, The Old Guard. Now, a tale as old as time. No. So more or less, Charlize Theron, as we mentioned, is the leader of this group of mercenaries, and you find out very quickly that they're actually immortal.
Okay, a tweener is a person or thing considered to be in between two or other recognized categories or types.
Yes, and mostly teenagers. Anyway. Anyway. Yes, they're mercenaries and they are immortal, as you find out. And Charlize Theron recruits another immortal person. Now,
sexy as hell.
At first, I thought that they were like giving them some kind of drug or something to turn them, but apparently they're born that way.
Yeah. It didn't really reveal too much, but it did say a little bit.
Yeah.
Because it was saying like they recruit people, they find people throughout the world who have these abilities.
Have the gift, of being immortal, where she gets into a fight and she gets cut and she's like, see how fast you're healing? You never realized that? Like, you fucking freak.
What, are you stupid?
Yeah, exactly. That's right. So they try and recruit her. But anyway, you find out as the film progresses that they've been doing this for centuries. And I loved that line that I can't remember which actor it was. She says, are you guys good guys or bad guys? And he said, depends on the century.
Yeah.
Like, I thought that was a pretty clever line and it intrigued me. And then you find out that they're somewhat being exposed in that and they're trying to hide from that. And that's where the amazing scene of Charlize Theron in the background of a picture. Oh, do you want me to take one for you? Delete photo. Haha, I'm in the clear. I was like, you fucking moron.
If she was a real, like, super secret agent spy person, she would have just taken that phone, snapped it in half, and walked away.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, realistically, like, you delete.
No, but But she doesn't want to draw attention to herself because then the police will come looking for her first broken phone, and the tweeners would be upset. Oh, those wieners would be so upset.
So it's an upcoming American superhero film directed by Gina Price Bythewood.
Superhero film? Is that your interpretation?
Nope.
Or no?
That's actual interwebs interpretation written of this. So it's based off the comic book of the same name.
Oh, it is a comic book. Okay, cool.
So essentially, when you watch the trailer, if you have, they essentially give away the plot thread that they are invincible or immortal, essentially. After being blown away, there's bullet holes all through them, then they say, we're hard to kill, and they just hop right back up. So if they're going to be captured by anybody, what the fuck are these people going to do with them?
That's right.
Because they could sit in a chair for centuries and be like, yeah, someone will come get me eventually. I'm not going to die anytime soon.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right.
So there's no threat to these people.
I think the only threat would be being captured, though, and just having to live being poked and prodded because they heal and stuff, and feeling the pain of being cut and things of that nature.
That's one thing they do mention. They still feel the pain despite the fact that they heal.
Exactly. But I really enjoyed at the end of the trailer, they touched on, and you saw bits like in the Victorian era and like the 17th century and stuff like that, like getting hanged, and in the what's it called, the Iron Maiden? You know, there was a shot of that as well. Like one of them got put in an Iron Maiden back in the day and stuff.
If you haven't seen that, Google Iron Maiden torture device and you'll be blown away.
And then Google Iron Maiden band and look up the song Iron Maiden by Iron Maiden off the album Iron Maiden.
Yeah.
That's a legit thing, and it still confuses me to the day.
For sure. Great band, terrible people. So Charlize Theron, Kiki Lane, Matthias Schoenaerts, and Chitwell Ejiofor. I'm not sure how you pronounce his name.
Did you say what's his name? Oh no, that was the last film. Never mind.
Anyway, it's going direct to Netflix. It's a Netflix production, so we don't really have a budget on this because Netflix don't really reveal it until they're out. Because it's coming direct to Netflix, I'm going to watch this.
Yeah. No,
I don't think it's going to blow anybody away. I don't think it's the next Extraction, essentially. I don't think it's the next
it's not going to be their biggest
talk about thing.
Yeah, exactly. But I do think it could make waves in the fact that it could actually be a decent film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love Charlize Theron. I just think it's strange to see someone like Charlize Theron, who I consider a relatively high caliber actor, to perform in certain roles that I've seen her in. She's A Million Ways to Die in the West, Long Shot, this, and what's the film called? With Will Smith, and he's a superhero. He's the only one.
Oh, Hancock.
Yeah. You know, she plays these. She seems like a grown woman, and she plays some silly roles sometimes, and it's fascinating, and I love it. And I love her as an actress.
Yeah,
she's one of my favorite actresses. So I'm definitely checking this out to see her as a sort of nimbly bimbly secret agent.
nimbly bimbly
from tree to tree. I'm looking forward to this.
No,
this
absolutely. And actually, it's kind of unusually early for Netflix to release a trailer because it's 10th of July. So
wow.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, 3 months later.
They normally release a trailer 2 weeks before a film comes out.
Yeah.
You know? So yeah. But anyway,
or in the case that something sucks, they'll release the trailer the day before.
Exactly, that's right. They did that with the Patrick Wilson film about the grass, Stephen King and his son.
Oh, In the Tall Grass?
In the Tall Grass,
whatever it is.
Yeah, exactly.
That was okay, wasn't it?
I didn't mind it. That was fun.
I think I was going to talk about that on...
We were going to make a YouTube video out of that.
That's right, we never did.
I don't even think we mentioned it on the podcast.
Yeah. What is the other movie that came out? There was a trailer for it at the Super Bowl, and then they were like, hey, it's available tonight, The God Particle. The Cloverfield Paradox.
Ugh.
And it sucked huge balls.
Shock and all.
Yeah.
But anyway...
Cool.
All right, moving on.
On to the next one.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
All right, well...
actually...
We'll just quickly shout out.
Yeah, we'll do a quick shout out. Okay, this episode is brought to you and sponsored by Gun Gear and Graphics. Bang, bang. If you are a business of any kind, whether you have online presence and you're looking for that graphic art, whether it's a logo or a Facebook profile picture or banner or anything like that, if you're a Twitch gamer, YouTuber, any kind of online presence and you're after that graphic art for you, hit up Gun Gear and Graphics. All links are below. Affordable workaround depending on the product that you're after. You can certainly work with them directly to get what you're after, of course, and prices are depending on the product. Certainly hit them up with links all below. They've done our makeover recently.
That's right. And Tyler, who is in charge of Gun Gear and Graphics, he's also actually a professional wrestler. So, I mean, keep an eye out for that as well. But speaking of wrestling, since you brought it up, he also makes custom wrestling gear. Hence the gear and Gun Gear and Graphics.
Yep.
And he has been shipping across the bloody country. Non-stop busy, this dude is. Not only that, overseas as well, getting clientele.
Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. So we're very fortunate to have him.
Yes. If you are listening to this podcast outside of Australia, first of all, thank you very much. But most importantly, if you are an up and coming or already pro wrestler looking to change up your attire, hit up Gun Gear and Graphics to work on a design for you. But not only that, you don't actually have to be a pro wrestler, do you? No. If you're just if you're someone who's relatively young or old, whatever.
Do we look like wrestlers?
No, but if you are interested in having an attire of your own just to fucking sit around the house in.
Fuck yeah.
If you want that, Gun Gear and Graphics will do that for you. That's no problem whatsoever. But not only that, as well, have released a new...
There's more?
There is more.
Jesus
There's always
Christ.
More. They've released a new product recently. If you are, have that online presence, as we just mentioned, and you want that cartoon caricature of yourself, full body as well, Gun Gear and Graphics has that for you absolutely as well.
We just reviewed a trailer from a film based off a comic book.
Yes,
you could become a comic book.
That's right.
I mean, you'd have to make the story and write the book and...
You could become a character.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You could see what it would be like in one still shot.
Nothing but 5-star reviews on Facebook from all
Same
customers.
with us, by the way.
Yeah,
just wanted to throw that out there.
Yeah.
We do have reviews on there and we are only 5 stars.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later. Yeah.
Okay,
whatever. We'll get to it. Yeah, Apple reviews and all that jazz. Yeah.
Oh, well, those ones as well.
Yeah, for sure. Anyway, Gun Gear and Graphics, links are all below. Hit them up if you're looking for that kind of work. Otherwise, just look at them anyway and appreciate the work that they... Yeah.
Exactly, that's right. We've given him enough time. Gun Gear and Graphics, check them out, ladies and gentlemen.
Beautiful.
All right, moving on to the next one. We have Vienna and the Phantoms. Phantoms or Phantoms?
Phantoms.
Phantoms?
I have no idea. I'm going to go Phantoms.
I'm going to say Phantoms.
Phantoms.
Since I'm reading it.
Yes, you
But anyway, Vienna and the Phantoms. Yeah. Dakota Fanning is back in this seemingly indie darling style film from Universal Pictures.
Yeah.
Vienna and the Phantoms. Leading an all-star cast, this story tells of Vienna, a troubled youth who has an in with an up-and-coming, I assume, rock band, the Phantoms. And with that in, she becomes a groupie, a roadie, something. But she ends up traveling with the band on tour and getting into a tangled web with a band member. And then it tells the story of love, drugs, mental health, overbearing management, other groupies, roadies, RVs, and scandal. Oh my, from the writer-director of the soon-to-be-released Coco Loco. This is sure to be a film. Chugging on demand like a dirty dude for some whiskey down a young girl's throat. 30th of June.
Yum. Okay, so I've seen this film before. Not this exact film.
Oh no, which one is it?
Almost Famous.
Shock and awe. Yeah. Absolutely, dude.
If you want to see a film
100%.
based on the exact same premise, that's fucking amazing. And it also has Kate Hudson.
Yeah, Kate Hudson is the lead. Go and watch Almost Famous and then just ignore that this exists.
Jay Baruchel is in that film
exactly.
as well.
No,
Almost Famous is fucking fantastic. It's a little old now, but it's so
it really
good.
is. I think it was 2002, if I'm not mistaken. But
Anyway, I'm also at the same time intrigued in this film, not necessarily because of the story, because as I've mentioned, we've seen this.
2000 was Almost Famous. I just wanted to point that out.
There we go. 20 years ago. Yeah. So the film, what was I saying? Yeah, we've seen the story before. We've seen the story of sort of an up-and-coming band struggling to go through drugs and alcohol and addiction and travel and being broke and all of that jazz, being kicked around by scumbag management and having that one tag along to tell the story and getting involved where they shouldn't be and people hating them, people loving them, blah, 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 blah. We've seen that all before because literally every band on the face of the earth has gone through this.
Exactly.
So I'm more interested in watching this film due to the art style and the cinematography style, and I like Dakota Fanning.
Yes,
and John Bernthal.
That's why I didn't mind pointing out immediately Dakota Fanning is back, because I enjoy Dakota Fanning. But like you said, the one crux of the issue of this trailer for me is it's about her and following this band and the story of her intermingling with the band's world. There was no music.
No, that's the thing.
That's
I don't
why
know what kind of band
I
they were.
assume a rock band. Like, I just had to assume that because there's no music. No, you tell me about this band, please. Like, I get the stories about her and her adventures with them and that, but at least show them playing for a second to get a vibe of what this is going to be like. Maybe they could be a fucking hippy dippy green love tree group, you know, and they just go, May, like not another teen movie with the fucking albino chick playing the guitar under the tree, and she's like, my retinas deceive me, or whatever it is. I can't remember the lyric.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they've kept that under wrap because, as you mentioned, they're trying to gear this story more towards Dakota Fanning's character and what she's dealing through.
But
and if they had a specific genre outplayed, that may sort of turn off people who aren't aren't interested in that genre. Anyway, the type of story that it's telling and the environment that they set around these characters and the type of band they are in their personalities, essentially, makes me think that they're some kind of rock band.
Yeah,
soft rock.
That's what I thought.
Soft rock, radio rock kind of band. But the thing is, like, John Bernthal's character plays the band manager, and he's talking about how hard he's worked to keep the band afloat. Like, how good can they really be to go through this kind of turmoil? They're all high as a kite. They're all drunk as fuck all of the time. Yeah. If you're doing that in the year 2020, you are not going to make it. You need to be stone cold sober and maybe have a few beers every night, but you can't be off your face drunk because it's not the 80s. It doesn't work that way anymore.
Not only that, he's preaching about that he's worked his ass off and sacrificed so much to make sure that these guys are successful. You're saying that in the back of a trailer.
Yeah.
Like you're in a
These
shitty
guys are
fucking
obviously
trailer.
crap.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. But it's not like you're saying that in a Hilton hotel 5-star room. Like,
that's right.
You are literally in a trailer saying that you sacrificed so much for them.
That's what Almost Famous says, but they've got like a band where they show their music and they show that they've got the stardom. They're in 5-star hotels. They have groupies. They have spas. They have all the drugs, and that's what this case. They're all broke as fucking eating chicken nuggets that are 3 days old, and they're all high on cheap drugs.
Exactly, that's right. But I will say, you mentioned John Bernthal, but also Dakota Fanning, as we mentioned, but Evan Rachel Wood and Zoe Kravitz.
Yeah,
I love that cast. It just sucks that it's such a cliche story that we've heard before.
Yeah,
it seems like it's going to be told poorly compared to the previous versions.
I will say that Zoe Kravitz, I know that, she's in the upcoming Batman film as Catwoman, and she was in a film that I watched last week, Kin, that I kind of said, she played a stripper and she kind of just tags along with the brothers in that film for whatever reason. I don't really explain it.
Yeah.
Anyway, because she's in this film, it doesn't make me instantly turn around and go, ooh, this must be good.
Oh, okay.
Because, fair enough, a great cast doesn't always mean a great film. So
no, 100%.
In this case, I'm a bit on the fence. I think overall it may do well. It may have that underground success, but personally it becomes a blowout because I would rather just watch Almost Famous.
The biggest draws out of this for me is Dakota Fanning and John Bernthal, but honestly, I reckon I could watch almost any of their other films and be satisfied.
Yep.
Because like we mentioned immediately, we've seen this story before.
Yep.
I don't care if I see it again.
That's right.
So big summer blunder for me. I'm sorry, John.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Alrighty, on to the next one.
Ripping and a tearing.
Cool. Volition?
Yes.
Cool, because I tried to Google Violation. I was like, this is from like 20 years ago.
Oh, no, that's Triple X. My bad.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, so Violation. Now, you set me up for this one because I saw my name.
Of course you did.
I didn't read the whole thing. Don't worry.
I hope not.
Right. Now, here is one I can get behind. Yes, me, Dylan. Not Mitchell's words. My name is Dylan, and I'm saying this review of my own free will. Volition is the next indie sci-fi thriller film we all need. The plot for their film follows a man at his wit's end. Sleepless nights, afraid to get close to anyone because he has a gift. He has the ability to see. He has the ability to foresee things before they happen, like his mother's death as a child, a passionate night of lovemaking with a stranger, although all through touch. Wow. Imagine a fucking nightmare that would be. Now imagine if some bad people knew of your gift and asked you for your help with a robbery. Okay, I'll play along. But next minute, you see your own murder. But now he's on the run, seemingly from himself, to try and avoid his fate. He has never been wrong before. Can he change the envisioned outcome before it's too late? Appearing on demand. Fuck, I cannot see when the date is. I don't have this gift. People help me. I'm so fucking sorry.
We got there in the end.
Yeah, that was a struggle. Okay, so
anyway,
volition.
Violation.
Yeah. So, volition. The meaning of volition, the faculty or power of one's will.
Exactly. Controlling your own volition.
Yeah, it's an American video game developer based in Champaign, Illinois. The company was founded by Parallax Software in 1993.
Is a film. It was toured across the film festivals last year, and it has earned itself a distribution at some point this year. Now, what are your genuine thoughts after that trailer?
I don't give a fuck.
Really?
Honestly,
I thought you would a little bit.
I don't think the trailer...
I thought you would.
I think the trailer didn't really give me enough to really be intrigued. Like, if... I know... I
basically had the whole movie.
I know. I get that. But at the same time, like, it seems, a guy who can predict the future... There's another trailer that we talked about at the very beginning of this episode called Tenet. I'd rather just watch that.
Well, yeah, of course.
It seems kind of the samey same in a sense that the guy can predict the future. But
this one's not warping cars and shit like that.
Yeah, I'd rather see the warping cars.
Yeah, so would I.
I'd rather hear the...
Now, I assumed you might...
Christopher Nolan trailers. Yeah, anyway.
I assumed you might enjoy this one. I personally did not. I just wrote it with you going, oh, this is going to be great. And I thought this would be a classic opposites where I'm like, no, I don't like it. And you're like, it's amazing.
I understand where you would see that, but the trailers that we've had this week, no, I agree with you. I watched this and I was like, I'm not interested.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, there was no actors that really stood out to me. The story, I've seen
because
it before.
it is an indie film, so there isn't like big names in this.
No, I get that. That's perfectly fine. It just, I don't know. Maybe I would have liked more sci-fi elements rather than just this guy just having his own gift.
Yeah, it kept saying in those reviews that were popping up on the screen about sci-fi, but it was just a dude who could predict shit.
He just has really good clairvoyance. That's right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, so he's basically a psychic who doesn't overcharge you because he's too paranoid to touch you.
Yep. So, I don't know, Skip.
No, yeah,
Honestly,
exactly. Yeah, big summer blunder for me personally, but at the same time, I can see why it could be a good indie film.
I'm sure it's fine.
It's not a cinema film.
Yeah, and not to say that we only see cinema films. We've seen indie films, we've seen low-budget films, and we've had enjoyment. We watched these trailers.
This could be great.
It probably is. All of the little reviews within the trailer say it is great, but I just feel that like the trailer didn't really give me anything that I can gravitate towards, especially with the idea of the concept of the story I've seen in other films, and I have more interest in those other films overseeing this, and that's just how I feel about it, and that's what Trailer Park is. We explain how we feel about a trailer once we've seen it. In my opinion, is
absolutely. I actually cut one from the list this week because I watched it and went, man, neither of us are going to have anything positive to say about this.
What was it?
It was Miss Juneteenth.
Okay.
Because, again, this is our personal opinion and it's not our culture.
It's our fucking podcast. What do you want?
Yeah. Shut up.
Yeah.
We can't hear you. That's right.
They probably can't hear us now anymore either.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. Please come back. But no, they're still watching Gran Torino, man. They'll be back soon.
Yeah, that'll be right. Yeah.
Yeah, no, but anyway, I won't get into it. But yeah, no, I cut that one because I was like, yeah, we're not going to have much conversation about it. So anyway, all right, here comes the final one for the week.
Now, this has to be your double wide for sure.
Fuck yes, it is the double wide. All right, we have Mope. Here it comes. Squinty emoji. Anyway, now this trailer is one we have to fucking talk about. This film festival favorite premiered at Sundance last year and has done the rounds at festivals for the last 9 months. And here we are now getting a look at this comedy drama crime film based on a legit fucking true story about an African-American and an American-Chinese best friend duo who wanted to make a name for themselves. And how would they achieve that fame? Well, fuck. Why not become porn stars and fuck together? Dubbing themselves as the Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan of the porn industry, they embark on their journey together, but soon find themselves as background extras in the pornos, known in the industry as mopes, after they realize that all the sleazy shit they do in the pornos, toe-sucking, blow-up, doll-fingering, etc., isn't getting them any starring roles or recognition. They snap. And oh boy, do they snap. Hard. I'm talking samurai sword slaying snap hard and butchering multiple fucking people. What a twist. Raging hard onto On Demand like a good old erection later this year.
The first user review on IMDb is 10 out of 10. I was laughing so hard, I was crying from I'm a big kid now 88. A lot of people in the reviews are saying that this film is fucking phenomenal. And I love the idea that the main two characters' names is Steve Driver and Tom Dong.
That is the legit two actual human beings.
I know.
Pick those names as their porn names.
I know, and it's amazing.
Can you guess which one's the Chinese American?
Tom Dong. Yeah.
Didn't
was that racist? Okay,
yeah,
sorry.
It's all right.
I like the idea that it's telling the story of this very unique story of an African American man and an Asian man. So two essentially, how would you put it? Like in the porn industry, obviously, the story that it's trying to tell, it's obviously overwhelmed by just, fit white dudes, essentially.
Yeah.
And it's trying to tell the underdog story of these guys really trying to make a name for themselves in a very strained industry by trying to go the next level, doing anything they can. They call themselves brothers.
They will do anything.
Yeah.
Anything?
And they call themselves brothers, and they're going to do anything on screen to get on the cover of the DVDs and to make it big, and then they don't, and then they fucking lash out. It's nuts.
But it's actually real.
Yeah.
Like, this happened.
The two main characters starring Nathan Stewart Jarrett as Steve Driver and Kelly Schreier. I haven't seen either of these guys in anything else. Brian Husker we've seen in a few things.
Yes,
David Arquette is in this film, so it's not just completely no-name actors.
No, that's right.
I am fascinated.
Absolutely, man.
I really want to check this one out.
If this one comes as a rental on one of the stores that I can rent things off online, I will be renting this as soon as I see it, because it just looks fucking incredible.
Yeah.
Like, but the fact that this is okay, so you have two guys trying to make it in the Hollywood porn industry, okay? And how do you think that story ends? They make it, they don't. They get a drug addiction, something like that. They become homeless. They become successful. Who knows? Fucking nobody would predict that they get a samurai sword and butch some motherfuckers.
Yeah.
And I did a little bit more digging, so it's probably a spoiler for the end of the story, but it's already out there because it's a real story.
Yeah.
The black one, he is the one with the samurai sword.
Steven
he kills his best friend as well.
Shit.
Gets in a 5-day standoff with police and then dies to the police.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
So,
as if I don't want to see that story because these dicks out.
So it sounds like we're in for a fucking ride with this film.
That's what I mean.
The fact that people are saying that this is also a comedy, this could very easily go down the route of hard drama.
Yeah.
No pun intended. Sorry. But in saying that,
I'll never tell.
The fact that it's being a comedy as well, I am fascinated. And one thing as well, now I've Googled it so that way I can go through the different articles to talk about it a little bit more and get the actors' names. Have you seen the poster? It reminds me of a Broken Lizard film from like Beer Fest or Super Troopers. It's got the chick's legs.
Yes.
It's like
it looks like the Babysitter poster with Jonah Hill.
Yeah.
Like how he's got the stripper's legs and he's there with two kids in between. It's like,
it's like any irreverent teenage sexy comedy film from the 90s and early 2000s. It's got that kind of vibe to it, and the poster is like that as well. So Mope looks hilarious. It looks incredibly interesting, and telling that true story of two gentlemen and one who specifically loses his mind over not baking the big time in the porn industry.
See, I'm not sure how they're going to tell that story at the end as well, because I know that's how the real life story ends, but they may turn it into both of them have fucking swords and they just go nuts.
I don't know.
Let's Kill Bill this bitch and fucking, like let's get that blood squirting like the cum.
Once upon a time in Hollywood,
Exactly. You never know. But either way, Mope, big summer blowout just because it's so left field.
Yeah.
It is an indie film of the best kind of left field.
Yeah, for sure. I'm really looking forward to this. I'm giving this a big summer blowout as well.
Yeah.
On the grand scheme of things, whether anybody actually discovers this, I have no idea. You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. But the Mope, sounds fascinating. It's got an interesting plot based on a true story, so definitely fascinating. Overall, we're both checking this one out.
Absolutely. Just based on a shocking, unpredictable true story.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, dude.
That has been our show.
Let's wrap this bitch in a bow.
That was a good saying.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Cool. As I said, that's been our show, ladies and gentlemen. You've just witnessed Friday's episode of Two's Company, Three's a Podcast, Trailer Park. And we'll see you next Wednesday for another news and reviews. But for now, head over to Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, all at 2C3Pod. Just give us a little search and you can find us. Give us a follow.
Absolutely. But wherever you're listening to or watching us right now, thank you so much for your continued support. We appreciate it so much. We're available wherever you find podcasts. Little bit of homework for you guys. Tell a friend.
Yes, please
Tell a friend. Or, if you can, head on over to Apple Podcasts, 5 stars, write a review. We'll read whatever the hell you write there.
That's right.
I'll say my cliche slogan.
Please
We're
do.
available. Podbean, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and of course,
YouTube.
Big summer blowout.
If you want to support the show as well and a financial contribution, that would be very much appreciated, but you can certainly do so by following all of the links below. TeePublic.com. We have t-shirts, fridge magnets. Damn it, I was hoping to get that out in one fell swoop. Frig magnets, stickers, and of course, whatever the hell else is on there. But also Redbubble.com. You can find the same products over there. And of course, you can also contribute by joining our Patreon. We have 3 affordable tiers for exclusive benefits for TCT Pack. 4 amazing supporters from Patreon as well, which now get a shout out, because as a Patreon supporter, you do get a shout out at the end of every episode. And who are these people?
Absolutely. We have bloody legend Courtney Harris and of course Gloria Jean. We appreciate you so much. We have our hero Alice and of course our producer Jonathan. Couldn't be doing this without you. You guys are way more generous than we expect.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for your continuous support. And if you are interested in becoming a patron, head over to Patreon /2C3Pod or Two's Company 3's a Podcast. Links are all below. 3 affordable tiers. Every tier gives you automatic entry into all of our giveaways, genuine and non-genuine, of course.
Fucking toilet paper, Dylan.
Yeah.
We had winners of toilet paper.
Yeah, absolutely.
Jesus Christ, you could be next.
Just can imagine what else you could win. But not only that, too, maybe we should have another giveaway once everything reopens.
A dunny brush. I mean, what? Yes. No, absolutely. But we also have PayPal, of course.
Yes.
Two's Company, Three's Podcast at gmail.com. Flick us 10 cents, 20 cents, 50 cents, $1 million. Whatever it is, comes straight back into this podcast. A lot of the shit that we are using right now in front of us has been because of the support that we have had. So we couldn't do it without you guys. And
just not the real expensive shit.
No, that's just straight out of pocket. Yeah. So, anything else. But anyway, business inquiries as well. Same email, twoscompany3podcast at gmail.com.
Fantastic. Now, we have 2 podcasts every week, every Wednesday and every Friday. If you're new here, make sure you check out our other episodes. We've got tons of them. Oh. Tons and tons and tons of them as far as the internet can see.
93 other ones, in fact.
Yes, absolutely. 93 other episodes of us talking about movies and such.
Yeah.
Definitely don't go back to episode number 1, please. Don't do that.
No.
Don't do that.
Start at about 8, as I always say.
Yeah, for sure. But you can find us everywhere, as we mentioned earlier. But 2 podcasts every week, every Wednesday, every Friday. Wednesdays being news and reviews.
Yes.
News is more just us talking about the topics that happen as of late, and we give our opinions. It's not really giving you the news.
We go down at least 6 rabbit holes in those episodes.
Yes, of course. And reviews is more about the things that we've recently seen and or watched and experienced, and we give a bit of an information.
But remember,
about that.
Reviews will be changed back to DTCR.
They will.
As soon as the cinemas reopen. So we are very excited for that. Does the cinema. We cannot wait to get back.
Sure. As we just mentioned, though, Fridays is always Yas or Pass, which is where we review the movies. We talk about the movies that are coming to cinemas that weekend.
That will be back soon.
Trailer Park, like you've just experienced, where we talk about the latest trailers that hit the interwebs. And of course, sometimes, but probably not much longer at all.
I'm pretty comfortable. I might throw one more in before the cinemas reopen.
Okay, but
Blast
from the Past.
Blast from the Past will then be going to Patreon as a special over there. Yeah, keep an eye out for that. Anyway, I can't remember the next. Yeah, YouTube. We've got a YouTube. There's so many videos, man.
We've got so many
crazy. 2C3 Pod, 2's Company, 3's Podcast. Search it all, subscribe, ring the bell, all that. And most recent video of fucking up my eye.
Yeah, there's at least 93 episodes up there, but also additional content.
There's 93 episodes and some mini clips. There's some at-homes that we did before all this lockdown shit. And then there's a couple other top 5s and top 10s and stuff. So there's shit there. Go and check it out. Please share, subscribe, ring bells and stuff.
Of course. And if you're also liking, sharing and subscribing and all of that jazz, if you are interested in video game playthrough or just Twitch streams of that nature, Dylan2C3 Pod, you can find me over there on Twitch. Links are all down below. And occasionally you can also find this fella over on Twitch as well.
Nah, don't worry about it. But anyway, so we've done the YouTube.
Thank you everybody for tuning in.
Yeah.
My name is Dylan, and as always, with my co-host
Mitchell, and do not forget that we are Two's Company.
And you are the podcast.
The podcast. I don't know what I was doing there. I apologize.
Yeah, one of those brain farts where you kind of just forget what you're doing.
Very much so.
It happens to me at least 3 times a day.
I kind of was like, maybe we'll do it together. And I'll say a word at a time. Right. And then the podcast. But that's my bad because I decided to try and wing it. All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for sticking around to the very end of the episode. As we do every week, we have a bit of trivia at the very end. We read a question off each card to each other at the end of the episode. If we get the question wrong, we have to take a little dab of the Godslayer hot sauce from Wiltshire Chili Farm to the tongue and suffer the consequences. But at the same time, it's not so bad because it's very delicious.
Yes.
Looking at the scoreboard right now.
I did update it.
You did update it? Excellent. So right now we've got Mitchell at a score of 9 out of 21 questions. So
fucking terrible.
Trailing behind just a little bit because I'm at 11 of 20. So I'm about to have my 21st question. Can I make it 12 of 21 or will it stay at 11?
Let's find out. Crack that lid, Dylan, because it's time for your question.
Okay.
In Pretty Woman.
Oh, fuck.
How does Vivian avoid her landlord who is chasing her for rent?
Okay, so sucking dick.
Oh, no, that wouldn't be avoiding, would it? That would be solving the problem.
Making someone else suck the dick?
Oh, well done. No. She climbs out of her apartment window, Dylan.
Yay! Okay, so it's my turn for the Wiltshire Chili.
Yeah, it is. Give the camera a bit of a look.
There we go.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's a good amount.
Lovely. All right, thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in. We've had a great Friday edition of Trailer Park. If you have as well, make sure to leave a review over on Apple Podcasts. 5 stars, thank you very much, please. We love you and appreciate all your support. Dylan, is there anything you wanted to say to the lovely ladies and gents out there?
That went straight to the back of the throat and my nose.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, how does that help them? Come on, Dylan. We're doing a podcast for them, mate.
Yeah.
Come on. Yeah. Come on, mate. Did you want to tell them about your plans for the weekend? How was your birthday, by the way?
It was fine.
Yeah, it was good. That's good. Yeah, but anyway, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We appreciate all your support. We will see you next Wednesday. Dylan's about to die, and you're witnessing a current murder. Wiltshire Chili Farm. What have you done?
Thanks for tuning into that video by Two's Company Freezer Podcast. Don't be sad though, there's plenty more where that came from. Another cheeky video right there. Maybe even hit that subscribe button and ring that bell. Or, if you don't like our faces, check us out on Podbean, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or YouTube.